So instead of reading my post on wax for my subscribers, I decided I would do it. Today was March 31st, 2026. 2 years ago, a woman named Jane Hunter took her own life. She was very clear in her obituary that she took her own life because she could no longer wait for the Canadian government to fulfill their promise. So I think of Jane Hunter all the time. This post was really hard for me to write. It's a really tough thing. It took me like 20 drafts of that. Probably some of you are like, then why'd you choose that? Was that that? Anyway, I am Catholic. I know that you're probably like, nah, but I am. I know. You're probably like, but I heard your act, and it was not only not funny, but it was also not in line with the doctrine, which I know. From a clichéd work of Staggering Mediocrity, For Thou Art With Me, Now Is Not the Time for You or the Catholic Church to Abandon Me, by Claire-Lise Brosseau on March 30th, 2026. Fill in the blanks here. For I was hungry, and you. For I was thirsty, and you. I was a stranger, and you. I was naked, and you. I was sick, and you. I was in prison, and you. In astrology, I'm a Pisces. In Canadian medicine and the law, I'm a mentally ill person. I'm also a Catholic, and in each case, it seems I'm allowed to have and share one voice alone. I'm not an individual. The specifics don't matter. Despite it being necessary for fairness, make no mistake. Individualization and flexibilities are luxuries, no matter the environment. I am a Catholic who believes that mercy, conscience, and accompaniment do not end when suffering becomes inconvenient to witness. The most painful part for me is not opposition, is that I won't get my last rites. Anointing of the sick. While some associate the rite with physical healing, its primary intent is spiritual healing and readiness. I can't ask for it without forcing the church to take a position. Before I was confined, I used to go to church and confession regularly. All my life, in every city I lived, I spoke to, cried, prayed, and pleaded with brothers, sisters, and priests to please help me want to live, to please make me be different. I know how beautiful the world is. I know that life is a gift. I never wanted it this way either. The world is so charged with the grandeur of God and the beauty, it makes my heart ache. It's seeping through my rib cage and I can't breathe. I feel all of your feelings all of the time, good and bad, and it won't stop no matter what I do. It feels like I have gills and I inhale you, whoever you are, on the deepest level, all day and night, all the time. All your anger, fear, resentment, hope, love, faith, sadness, regret, joy, jealousy, compassion, shame, gratitude, wonder, confusion, dread, vulnerability, excitement, hubris, passion, surprise, loneliness. I feel it all, always, and simultaneously to the extreme, and I can't stop it. It's unbearable. No matter who's doing God's work, nothing has changed. Not in the way I think, how I feel, or what I do. My brain, heart, and soul are infected. I have to go. Nothing changes the way my mind works. The suicidal thoughts never leave, and I'll never stop being Catholic. I'm just not meant for this world. I never was. I never will be. I live in hell, and I need to be free. Please free me. Mercy is not optional in Catholicism, it's the core. Jesus spends far more time relieving suffering than enforcing rules. The church teaches that mercy does not negate moral seriousness, rather it responds to human fragility. I'm not saying that death is good. I'm saying that abandonment is devastating. Conscience is supreme in Catholic moral theology. The Church teaches that a person must follow their well-formed conscience even when it leads them into tragic territory. After exhaustive suffering, some people reach a conscience-bound conclusion about their own life. We must not judge the soul. We must entrust the person to God's mercy. Accompaniment over abstraction means walking with people in suffering, resisting rigid moralism, and refusing to reduce people to categories. I'm not redefining life's value. I'm not saying that suffering redeems nothing. I'm saying forced endurance is not the same thing as sanctity. Mercy includes limits, and love does not require infinite pain. Catholicism has never taught that suffering must be prolonged at all costs. I know there's no practical solution, but I just don't think anyone understands the depth of my spiritual isolation. This isn't a demand to change your mind. I'm grieving all of the grief. I don't need permission or approval. I mean, I kind of need permission. I need a reprieve from the constant torment. The Church opposes medical assistance in dying, but the Church opposes many things in principle while still recognizing conscience, mercy, and the limits of human endurance. People say suffering has meaning, and indeed it does, as does mercy. Catholicism has never taught that meaning must be extracted by force. People say that MAID opens the door to abuse, but so does every moral decision involving power. The answer has never been prohibition, but discernment. This loss is not theoretical, it's personal, and it's all that matters to me in the end. My love for God is deep and real. The world has always felt like more than I can carry. I don't know how to hold it without breaking. I've tried everything for decades, across cities, with good doctors, real care, every option that was supposed to help. I'm not speaking theoretically. I am dying from this. There is a path now. I am not in crisis. I am making a decision with clarity, and that's what makes this different. It's what I always wanted, and that's what makes this frightening. I'm not afraid of death. What terrifies me is the moment just before. That instant when it's happening and everyone I love is looking at me and I can see the sadness, the grief, the weight of knowing they'll feel this way so deeply because it's me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to carry it in my heart. I can't. That's the fear I carry. I haven't asked for a priest, not because I don't want one, but because I understand the position of the Church, and I don't want to force anyone into a choice that would violate their conscience. I'm not trying to challenge doctrine or make a point. This isn't an argument, it's not a demand, it's just the truth of where I am. It's about the human immediate weight of love and loss in the same moment. The prayer of anointing asks that the person be relieved of suffering and feel the power and peace of God. These rites are meant to provide spiritual protection, to offer forgiveness and reconciliation with God, and to provide comfort to the person and their family. I'm going to die. I'm at peace with that. I wish a priest could be there to guide my family, to reassure them, to soften the fear, and give the moment some peace. I cannot bear seeing the grief in my family's eyes. I'm too familiar with it because of my illness. This is what makes this moment unbearable. I don't know how I will meet that instant without breaking. I just don't. I can't leave this world that way, and I don't know what to do. All I can do is pray. I know God is with me. I'm sweating my balls off. Jesus. It's not menopausal. Is that not appropriate for this? Anyway. The Mad Libs at the beginning you should recognize if you're into the New Testament. And if you're not, why don't you fill that in and see what kind of person you are compared to Jesus. There's a quote that I wrote underneath, by James Baldwin, this hack. Probably never heard of him. Nothing is more desirable than to be released from an affliction, but nothing is more frightening than to be divested of a crutch. James Baldwin. Thou art with me. You guys know the next line, right? I hate myself. Peace and love. Peace and love. I'm gonna go eat a Pop-Tart because I'm a 49-year-old normal lady. Normal lady.